Hi, W.R. Buchanan here, and we're once again showing our Buchanan Precision Machine hand press with the lock and load feature, quick change die feature, excuse me. Okay, today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to load some 308 Winchester cases with my standard load of 45 grains of IMR 4895 and a 147 grain recycled M80 ball bullet. Okay, this is my go-to load for my Ruger Scout rifle, and it is sub MOA every single time. Okay, so we're going to do, like I said, we're going to do something a little bit different today. So today we're going to just neck size these cartridges using a Lee Collet neck sizing die. Now what this die does is, as you push the cartridge up into the case or up into the die, the handles stop, and that's because there's a collet that's being crushed closed as it is pushed up on. So that's all the farther it goes. Okay, and what it's doing is it's squashing the neck of the case. It's squashing it down on a mandrel that's a preset size. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take and squish it like that a couple of times and rotate it and squish it like that a couple of times, and that's good. Now you can see here's a bullet, and you can see that the bullet doesn't go all the way in to the case, so that means there's neck tension on the bullet. So that's what we're looking for. Okay, so we're going to do another one now. Okay, and then You'll also notice that I have the press clamped to the table for this operation, as opposed to normal full-length sizing operations where I hold the press by itself away from there. It's much easier to do it like this with the press anchored to the table. Okay, this is our kitchen table, and the whole purpose of showing you this at our kitchen table is so that people out there can get the idea that this tool is designed for people that don't have a lot of space, or they want to load ammunition in their RV or at their campsite, but they're not going to give up anything as far as accuracy. This thing will load ammunition that is as good or better than any reloading press system out there. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do is change the die out, and we're going to put in the Lee Ram Prime, and we're going to prime these cases. Okay, that's the whole changeover. Take a primer, put it in here. Oop, there goes one on the floor. That's all there is to priming it. You can see the case is primed perfectly. Once again, it's a good idea to keep your face back from this when you're priming cases, and this is not just for these, it's for any cases, because if you inadvertently set a primer off and the case is pointed at your face, it's going to be a bad day. You're not going to like it. So a little common sense here, and it's not a bad idea to wear safety glasses. I wear glasses all the time anyway, so that's my safety glasses. Alrighty then. And here's the last one. Bonk. Good job. Okay. I'll remove this die. And the next die we're going to put in is a RCBS competition seating die. Now, there's no way around it. You have to use, for 308, you have to use this die with their extended shell holder. So we figured that into the program here. So on this one, what we're doing is we're going to drop a bullet in to this hole up here. After we get the case up part way, we're going to drop the bullet in the hole and it's going to shove it in. And it's going to be very accurate when it shoves it in. Once again, we're going to shove it all the way to the press limits, okay? And that's so that the bullet is seated directly to the cannelure on the bullet every time, okay? Before we do that though, we're going to put some powder in the cases. And I happen to have 5 pre-measured charges. There's one right there. Now these ones, this powder is stick powder, and so as a result, you have to bang it around a little bit to make sure that all the powder goes in the hole. Okay, and we're part way up. Bink, we drop the bullet in, then we take and we close it in, and that's all there is to seating the bullet. Now you'll notice that the bullet is seated right to the top edge of the cannelure. That's because we're going to crimp these in place after we're done charging them. Okay, so here goes another one. Okay, bullet. Mm-hmm. This takes absolutely no effort at all to seat the bullet, okay? And you'll find that these straight line seaters are about the most accurate way there is to put a bullet in the hole. They go in straight every single time. I don't have my concentricity gauge set up for this one, but I have checked these in the past and they run out less than 1/1000th of an inch, which is about as good as you're going to get. Okay, now we're going to change over to the crimping die. This is again showing you how fast this thing is to change the dies over. You can see the shell holder feature right there. That's all it takes to clamp it in. Okay, and here's the crimp die. And number 1. Okay, and there's a perfectly loaded .308 caliber round. Once again, we're using the limits of the press to define how deep the cartridge, the crimp goes, excuse me. And you'll watch, you can see when I squish it closed, bonk, it hits the top plate of the press. And you end up with a really well loaded piece of equipment, or really well There it is. And one more. Okay. There you go. There's 5 loaded rounds. We'll throw those other ones out of the way so you can get a good look at these. And it took 5 minutes to do all this. This press is just as fast as any single stage press, and it's faster in a lot of cases because of this feature right here, the lock and load feature. Okay, so that concludes this video. There's more coming, so just be patient. Thank you.